Hey, this is Ian James Bain from Hamilton, Ontario. Check out my new single, Come and Gone, available everywhere. You're listening to On The Porch with Front Porch Music.
How do you pronounce your last name?
Stumpf.
Exactly how it's spelled. Perfect.
Yeah.
I was stumped when I was trying to figure it
out. Welcome back to another episode of On The Porch with Front Porch Music. I'm your host, Jenna, and you did not hear me this episode. Logan flew solo with emerging country artist based out of Saskatchewan, Josh Stumpf. Josh first crossed our radar late last year when we heard a few rumblings around the industry, and he is here with his debut single via MDM Recordings, Highway Money. He's currently iHeart Future Star. He has so many plans for the year. It was so great listening to Logan catch up with Josh and learn more about him. I hope you enjoy our episode.
Thanks for joining us, Josh.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. This is your first time on the Front Porch, so welcome. It's cozy. It's raining.
I'm glad to be here.
So you're a bit of a newcomer to us. I mean, you've been putting out music for a couple of years now, but in the last year or so, you've really started to make a bit of noise outside of Saskatchewan. So why don't you give us a bit of a rundown of who you are, where you're from, what you do?
Sure. I'm originally from Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. I lived in Saskatoon for like 2 years or so, and then moved back home to PA. But when I was living in Saskatoon, well, so actually before I had moved to Saskatoon, I was farming in Smeaton, which is about an hour northwest kind of PA. And I would drive, twice a week, 2 hours, 2.5 hours sometimes it would be like 3 hours to drive to Saskatoon and go hit like open mic and then drive back out to the farm. But in doing those open mics, some friends of mine, Mark Poppin and Joelle Gaudette, who run like the Funky Moose stuff here in Saskatchewan, they were like, man, you got to record this one song. It was Drink Me a Lullaby, which I ended up releasing, but they were like, you should record this. Like, why haven't you done this? It's like, because I have no friggin' money. I'm broke, dude. And so they offered to help me get the ball rolling on stuff like that. Nice. So then those 4 songs that we released as a part of that kind of thing was all because of them. And then Mike over at MDM was on the radio tour with Jess Moskaluke, and I think he said they were in Red Deer or something, and Dana Burgoyne at Pure Country is the one who flipped Drink Me a Lullaby to Mike and was like, you should like listen to this. Like,
wow.
And it just so happened that they were coming through Saskatoon like the next day or 2 days or something. So he messaged me and we met up in Saskatoon, went out for supper and kind of caught a vibe for each other. And then when they came back on her Winter Wonderland tour, went and hung out with them in Jess's green room and played some songs. And then that's kind of where the relationship started. And then it kind of all went from there. And now we're one song in and things are going pretty good. And I'm here sitting talking with you. So
that's a lot of stars to align. Like that doesn't happen very often. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I've been really, really, really lucky that, I mean, don't get me wrong, I've put in a lot of work, but there's a lot of other people besides me that are putting in a lot of work and flipping me to the right people at the right time. And I count myself very, very fortunate and very lucky.
That's awesome. There's a lot of artists, like some of Canada's like iconic artists are all kind of from Saskatchewan. Like there's Jess Moskaluke, like you mentioned, Hunter Brothers, yeah. Jojo Mason's from Saskatchewan, Kelsey Kulik, you. What is in the water there? What's happening?
There's nothing else to do here. It's boring. That's what happens. There's nothing.
Honing in your craft and the long drives to these open mics, I guess.
Yeah. I guess to give you, a real answer is, I don't know. There's a lot of music just in Saskatchewan, I think, in general. Like Prince Albert, I think population's like 30,000, something like that. but we do like the winter festival stuff here where like, you know, like 16-year-old kids will get to come up and perform songs with a good band and get to see what it's like to rehearse. And you get into that like culture of rehearsing and playing music and getting to fall in love with live playing a lot around here. And in Saskatoon, there's open mics on every corner.
Really?
Well, I guess not on every corner, but like
yeah.
there's a decent amount to where like, you know, they're in competition with each other and there's like different cliques of musical groups and you really kind of start to fall into that community here for sure.
I don't think I really realized that Saskatchewan had such an arts population.
Oh yeah. It's big in Saskatchewan, like surprisingly.
Neat. With all that community there, do you find it's like more competitive with everybody, or is there like a good community of like support?
There's definitely a good community, I think, because like I've yet to meet anybody that's really got feuds with anybody or, you know, big beef. There's a lot of love, and it's just when someone else, you know, has cool stuff going on for them, no one's like, oh, well, you know, should have seen that coming. You know, it's because of whatever. No, there's no like shit talking behind people's backs. Like it's all like the other artists that, you know, are with you at the open mics or whatever are buying tickets to your shows and you're buying tickets to their shows and they're promoting you on their socials and vice versa. Like it's a very loving community here.
Nice. Do you hear that the rest of the provinces? Get in line. I'm just kidding. So kind of moving into that, last year at the SCMAs, the Saskatchewan Country Music Awards, you were crowned the winner of the Emerging Artist Award. Congrats, number one.
Thank you.
Number two, what was that like? That like sitting in that room, listening to the list of nominees, and then hearing your name.
Well, it was weird because, well, I tied for it. It was a tie for that one.
Oh yeah, I did see that somewhere.
But I didn't think I was gonna win because I had released "Drink Me a Lullaby" and then I released that song in this truck like right before that. Like it wasn't long, and they're not doing numbers like what Highway Money's doing right now. So I wasn't expecting anything. It was just cool to go there. It was cool that I was nominated, and then I believe I had already started the relationship with MDM. Can't remember if I had signed yet or not, but I know that was already like. We were already cool with each other and, you know, in talks and all that, but I couldn't say anything. So then also I was like, oh, fuck, I don't know what's going to happen.
Spoiler, he knew what was going to happen.
It was just really cool because, like, I don't know. I've gotten, like, I don't know, you get, like, local awards here and stuff, like, that's just local community, like the town stuff, but nothing like that. So that was pretty cool. And now I've got it sitting up on my counter over there somewhere.
Nice. How does a tie work at those things?
It was, well, they called, this kind of shook me because there was a few ties that year for stuff. But when this category was like the first one to get called, so I didn't know what to do because I don't remember if they called my name first or Daryl's name first. But they called two names, and I was like, do I go up? I don't know.
Was it Daryl Anderson? Yeah.
Yeah. And
he's a nice guy.
he wasn't there, though, so I was still the only one who ended up going up.
So you won. It's all yours. That's really cool, though. I mean, for a lot of artists to kind of get that after their first couple of releases is really cool.
I was stoked. I was pumped. Like,
no doubt.
It was hard to, you know, not brag about it.
You should brag about it, man. So at least in the timeline, at least what was public was that what came before your announcement with MDM.
Yeah.
But as you said, behind the scenes, you knew what was going on. So when you signed with them, what was that process like to get compared to... what was the process like of releasing new music with a label as opposed to releasing the music without the label?
Night and day. It was, so even just working on the songs, like...
In a good way, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. But it was definitely more work. Like, because there's before I didn't know what I was doing, right? I kind of just like promoted what I could on like Instagram, TikTok, or whatever, but didn't really know how to get the back end stuff set up. And also, there's so much that they do for me on this one that I don't even have to worry about or think about. And there's just more connections, with radio and with streamers and with other important people in the industry that helps it perform overall better, and also just helps me build a connection with those people. Like I'd say the biggest difference for sure was the radio tour. Like we did a 3-week long coast to coast tour, going to all the different radio stations and showing them the new music and getting to start that connection with them, which is definitely something I wouldn't have been able to do on my own. So
Did you see new parts of the country?
Oh, for sure. The farthest the farthest I had been before was like Alberta. I mean, I had been to Ontario once to visit a buddy of mine in Ottawa.
My hometown.
For like a couple of days, but didn't, we saw a few things, but nothing like super crazy. But this time, we went like New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Quebec, Ontario, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Alberta, BC.
And then had a nap.
All up and down. I slept in the car while Mike was driving. That's what I did.
You drove across the country?
For parts of it, not for all of it. There was a lot of flying.
I was going to say, I've done that drive one time, and one time was more than enough.
Dude, when we flew, like on like the last day of the tour, we flew from Edmonton to Winnipeg. And after every flight, because I gate check my guitar. So after every flight, as soon as I get off, I'll open up the case, make sure nothing's
Please don't be
damaged.
broken. Please don't be broken. Please don't be broken.
Yeah. And I opened the case and I saw loose strings. And I was like, oh, come on. And opened it the rest of the way. And the headstock had snapped completely off the neck of the guitar.
Oh my God, it was broken.
Oh, it's broken. And like, this was a guitar that's not even technically mine. Like, it was gifted to me by Joel, the guy who had helped me start my first project.
Oh my
And
God.
that belonged to his mother who had passed away. So it holds like an insane amount of sentimental value.
You broke an heirloom.
Yeah. So
Oh my God.
I'm still trying to get money out of WestJet for that.
Were you like, Uncle Mike, help?
Yeah. Well, I was reaching out to everybody to try and see, like, is this fixable? Like, what should I do? I don't really know. And then I called Joel and I was like, hey, this is the last thing I want to be telling you right now. But, the guitar that was your mom's, yeah, she's broken. He was so cool about it, though. Like, that's why I love that guy. He knew that, like, obviously I didn't do it.
Yeah, I mean, like, what are you going to say, really?
Right? Like, he put it was kind of bittersweet. He put it in a way that I didn't think about, which was that, like, he was like, yeah, I believe that mom was still in that guitar, and now she got to see the country and she decided to leave. I was like, that's a really interesting way.
Very poetic.
Yeah.
Hey,
really like
that's a glass half full kind of guy.
Yeah. He really
So how did you get a new guitar? Like, did you go to the closest music store?
No, luckily that was like, there's always a silver lining. I mean, as shitty as it was that it was broken, like it happened on the last day of the tour, so I didn't really need it anymore for what we were doing. For the shows that I'm doing right now, I'm not using an acoustic, and I'm just looking.
It's just air guitar.
I'm borrowing my other guitar player's guitar for this one, but I'm still waiting on. Like, I sent in a claim with WestJet as like a damaged baggage thing, but still waiting to hear back on them. And if they say, because here's the screwed up part is like, after they had broke it, I took pictures, I took videos of everything, right? But I had to get immediately on a new flight, and which means you get a new gate check tag. You don't get the same one, and it's not the same number. Meaning that when they broke it and they're asking me for the tag number, well, I don't have that because I've got like 30 of these freaking things for every different flight I've been on over the last 3 weeks. And I don't know which one is which. And when I had landed, I went to baggage services to be like, who do I talk to? And nobody told me to, keep that tag. So I just threw it in the garbage.
Oh God.
So there's a number that I don't know if it's right or not that I sent in with the claim, but if they tell me, because there's like thousands of dollars worth of damage, if they tell me that there's nothing they can do, I'll I don't want to say it online, but there's another route I will take.
Josh/Karen Stumpf is coming to play.
Yeah, I've spoken to some people who know some things, and
I'd like to speak to a manager.
There's some alternate routes we'll go.
With this deal with MDM and going across the country and all that, I believe when we were talking to Jess on the podcast, she said that she was helping to manage you a bit.
Yeah.
What's the thought, like the feeling of having one of Canada's like primetime artists saying, I want to help you?
It's beyond amazing because like she understands everything that I'm going through now or am going to go through. She's already done it 100,000 times. So she knows every trick of the trade, you know, for even helping me with stuff that like you wouldn't normally think about, like packing for a trip, things you didn't know you were going to need.
Don't check a guitar.
Yeah, stuff like that. Like how to introduce yourself to certain people, or who were, you know, at a bar or whatever doing something where there's like an industry event going on, and she'll just whisper over, be really nice to that person.
That is so valuable.
You know what I mean?
To have someone in your ear to be like, you be nice to that person, even if it's hard, be nice to them.
Yeah, like just like little tips and tricks, you know, that will make your life so much easier. But like, because she gets it from the artist standpoint, but also she's also from Saskatchewan, you know, so not that the culture is any different, like if you're or that different if you're going on like in another province of the country, but it's helpful enough to like that she's got similar roots, you know, growing up and culturally and that kind of stuff. So that part,
there's really not anyone who could understand you more than her, really, in terms of like an artist.
Exactly.
What's
So
like a piece of
helpful. That, and also like if I post something on socials, if she goes and reposts it or puts something on her story, you know, it's not like any other manager putting something on their story. Like she's an artist, so she's got so many more followers and so many more people that's going to see that. So that part's definitely helpful too.
I thought you were gonna say that you'll post something on social and she'll message you, be like, take that down.
Luckily, not yet.
That's not the one.
Well, I'm lucky that like anything I do want to post, we have another girl, Olivia, who I'll run it through before I post something. But also Jess, I'll put it in the group chat and be like, how's this caption? Like, how about this photo? Like, what are we thinking? And so
that's really valuable, for sure. What's a piece of advice that she's given to you so far that has stuck? Putting you on the spot here. Sorry.
That's hard. There's a bunch of things. There's just like, oh, okay. The best one. I don't know that this is necessarily a piece of advice or not, but like, there was a thing that we had done. We had like done some guy's wedding, and all of our phones died, and it was a big shit show, and we were all over the place, and we were lost, and it was the middle of the night, and we were in the middle of nowhere, and she was trying to set stuff up for us while she was also having to like leave to go somewhere else. So then the next time I saw her, she had given me like this portable charger, this like super, super dope one. And she's like, don't ever lose this. I don't ever want to see you with a dead phone again. And I was like, okay. Okay. And I take that thing with me everywhere. I
have mine right here too. It's always beside me.
It's that exact one. It's like the CarMast one.
Oh my God, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
No,
yeah. Those things are so good.
It's so good. Not sponsored, but I would like to be.
My whole band has them now. My girlfriend's got it. I, like an idiot, when I was on the radio tour, left mine in a hotel room in Toronto. Jess
would be very disappointed.
Yeah. But it's sick, though, because they're like $20-$30 on Amazon.
I know. They're so cheap.
It's going to cost me $70-$80 to ship that one back here. And I was like, no, I'm just going to buy a new one.
Amazon Prime, thank you.
Yeah, for real. Like, dude, I bought a charger in the airport, and it cost me like $50-$60. For $20, I could have bought that freaking thing, and it's like, that thing charges your phone faster than if you were to just plug it into the wall.
I famously never have my phone plugged in. Like, if my phone is above 50%, it's like something's weird. Like, that's not a thing. So
plug it in when you go to bed?
What?
Do you plug it in when you go to bed?
No.
Why not?
I don't know. I like to live on the wild side, Josh.
That's what I do every night before bed. Like, plug it in, put it on the nightstand.
I don't know why I don't do that, but I don't. I don't have a good answer.
That'd probably help you.
Nah.
Have you ever
I'd
seen
rather.
cases? Like, a buddy of mine in school had one of those cases that had like a battery pack in the back of the phone case, and you like.
But then you're carrying a brick with you.
Yeah, but then your phone's not dead.
Yep. I have nothing left to say. I can't defend myself. But my laptop famously is always at 100%.
Yeah, we're opposite. Mine's always dead.
Ah.
That's why I have to
Plug it in
grab
at night. Why don't you talk a bit about Sunset Country Music Festival?
Sure. So
As far as I've seen, because I haven't seen I didn't do a huge deep dive on the Sunset Music Festival, but you co-founded it, correct?
yeah.
And it's to give back to the community. So why don't you tell me a bit about that?
Yeah. So the idea kind of started during COVID when like nobody was playing anywhere, and I still wanted to just perform for fun. Like, not even because I wanted money or anything, just because like I just wanted to be on stage, and I wanted to do it so bad. I was like, screw it, we'll give the money away. I don't care. I'm not doing it for money. And the first thing was because it started as I just put on a show at my family's farm in their like gazebo in the yard with like some shitty little speakers and a bunch of friends. Like I think we had like 200 people come out.
Whoa.
And, just kind of party with us. And then the next year we were like, no, let's do it like for real. So we wanted to keep it like redneck, like it's out on the farm, it's in the country. So the stage is 2 flat deck trailers.
Nice.
It's just out in the field. We get a mobile bar that comes in. We set it up like the beer gardens. And we light fireworks off every year. So the first year we had, I want to say like 300 people.
That's
and
great.
We raised some money for the Victoria Hospital Foundation. And then the next year we did the Ronald McDonald House charities. And so this year and last year we did the Ranchero Society, and we bought a bunch of guitars, pianos, drum kits, and all that stuff to give to the kids at the group home so that they could start doing like music therapy and that kind of stuff to get them into learning different instruments and stuff. And I think last year we had about 500 people. Wow. So this year we're looking to up it by quite a bit. We got a cool lineup, and the best thing about it I like is that it's like local artists. It's all Saskatchewan artists. Some of them are like 16 years old that are, maybe going on stage for the first time.
Cool.
And then bring in, some other people. Like I'm selfish because I'll do it every year. But
well, I mean, may as well. Your festival.
But it's a lot of fun. So this year we're doing it for the River Valley Resilience Retreat, which is a retreat kind of by St. Louis, which treats mental health and PTSD for first-line responders and veterans and, EMTs, cops, firefighters, all that kind of stuff. And so we're going to try and raise some money. I know they want to get an arena out there to do like equine therapy and stuff over there.
Oh, cool.
So I'm really excited. This year's going to be really, really fun.
And this is just outside of Prince Albert, right?
Yeah, this is like right kind of technically outside of McDowell, which is about like 20 minutes away. But it's off the main highway coming from Prince Albert to Saskatoon. You turn down a grid road to get down.
That sounds so fun.
It's a party, man. It's a party.
Have you announced the lineup yet, or can you give us a little taste, or not yet?
Announced the lineup yet.
Damn it. Wait. You did say you'll play.
I'll be there for sure. I'll be there.
Heard it here first.
That's right. Surprise, surprise. I'll be playing my own show.
If you don't support yourself, who's going to, you know?
Amen.
It was also so going ahead a little bit now. Your debut single with MDM Records is Highway Money.
Correct.
And you said it was night and day from recording that song to recording stuff by yourself. Tell us a bit about this song.
So I wrote this with Dave Thompson and Jason Blaine. And
Two heavy hitters in Canadian country.
yeah, and they're phenomenal songwriters. Like it just comes out so quick. And this was funny because I think we had the chords kind of down and just kind of rambling, just kind of mumbling. And I think Jason was the first one to say Highway Money. Dwayne stopped him and was like, "What did you just say? Say Highway Money? Like that sounds sick. Let's do that." So then we started writing that one. But this one was cool in the sense of like, it was a bit more of a professional setting. Not that with the stuff before wasn't professional, but just like it's a more, I don't know, higher tech stuff. Like, I don't know, it's a different vibe altogether. Getting to see how like fast people work, and it just came together so quick.
Yeah.
Like, at least quick to me. I don't know. Mike might say it wasn't quick, but I but it just feels really cool because I think the kind of vibe that I was shooting for, at least production-wise on that song, was kind of similar to like what Florida Georgia Line was putting out in like 2013, like the round here, like that kind of vibe. And so then once I got to hear it, I was like, yeah, this is exactly what I was shooting for. Like I didn't have to make very many alterations to it.
Nice.
What did suck though is when I went to go record vocals, I did end up getting pretty sick, and it sucked. Like, of course, it's when we book it, that I'm gonna do vocals. You get sick. I was like so stuffed up, all in here. My throat was fine, but
So it wasn't like the nice raspy kind of sick. It was the stuffy kind of sick.
Nasally. And we tried everything. Over-the-counter medication. I had nasal sprays and neti pots and steam in my face. Nothing seemed to work until we got in there and I was sipping on whiskey. And
I'll do it.
It just like shocks your system right off. And I was like, okay, let's go. But it was so freaking fun. I love this song.
Yeah. It's a great banger. It's honestly a great introduction to you. For anyone listening, like it's obviously not your first song out, but it's a great introduction for anyone who wants to listen. Start there.
I think it's perfect too. Like, I don't know how much of this was planned versus just how lucky we got that it released when it did, like this time of year, because this is also like snow's gone now. It's starting to warm up. People are rolling down the windows of their cars, driving down, heading out to the lake. Like, perfect time of year for a song like this to come out.
Agreed. So when you wrote this with Dave and Jason, was this on Zoom or how did you connect?
I had wrote it when I was in Nashville with them. But yeah, like, I would like, go down for writing sessions just to, go down for like a week or whatever and then go write and then come back and do everything.
So you signed with MDM last year and put out your song a few weeks ago. Did you spend that whole last year kind of writing a whole bunch and getting stuff in line for the whole next years of release?
Yeah.
Next years of releases? That's not a real sentence, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. We spent like the last, I think it's been like 18 months getting all the back end stuff done, and making sure that everything is already ready for when we hit go, and all we have to do is just keep pushing it forward. Like, you know what I mean? So I went down like, I think 3 times, all for like writing trips and stuff. So we got like a bunch of songs banked and then had like a little meeting of like, all right, which ones do you guys want to cut? You know what I mean? Like, so there's a big bank there of songs that I got to write with some really, really cool songwriters. And I'm really happy that this one made the cut. I think this one was pretty unanimous that this one was lead off single. Everybody was in agreement.
Did it ever feel frustrating that like, okay, the songs are done, or like we're ready. Like why has it been 18 months since we put something out?
Not really, because I've just been such like in awe of everything that's happening. Everything is just so freaking cool and new to me that like I wasn't even concerned about that at all. I was just like, I'm so excited for this to happen. Like it's been just the ride, the experience has been the coolest part.
So it's out now, and it was just announced today on the day of our recording that you are this month's iHeart Future Star with this song.
Yeah.
Congrats, man.
Thank you. Yeah, it's really cool.
I'm sure you found out like a week ago or so.
I found it like 2 days ago.
Oh, they kept it from you. What was that call like? Like when you got the notification that you were going to be the next iHeart Future Star?
I just got an email and I was looking at my phone at work and I was like, oh, sick. All right. And then
Wait.
I had a rehearsal with the band, I think that night, and I was like, I don't think they know what it means, but I was like, yeah, we got the iHeart Future Star. They're like, yeah, sick. But then what's really cool is that, like I said before, Dana is the one who flipped me over to Mike in the first place. So
how did she get connected with you? Because she's in Ontario.
Well, it was when we had sent "Drink Me a Lullaby" to radio. Like I went through Lauren Tuddy, and Lauren I think had submitted it for iHeart Future Star, and it wasn't quite ready for that yet. But then she was like, this got submitted to me. It's not quite where it needs to be yet, but like give it a listen and see what you think. And that's how I got turned over to Mike.
Cool. Have you heard your song yet on Pure Country?
I haven't. No, I haven't listened to it yet.
I haven't caught it yet either, but I also only saw that you got that a couple hours ago, so
I'm also in the mode too now where I'm like, I've got a show tomorrow, and every time I've got a show, the only thing that I listen to is whatever songs are in the set list, and I just have them playing on repeat.
You have to, for social media. These are my favorite videos. Every time an artist records themselves hearing their song on the radio for the first time, it's probably I'll watch those videos all day. They're my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah. So flip that camera, or your camera on when the song
I could fake it. I could just play it off my girlfriend's phone and then like start crying or something.
You can fake the cry. Do it.
Yeah. I'll get like some eye drops or something, and then I'll just play it on Spotify and be like, "Oh my god, I'm here for the first time."
Actually, you should do that. That's a good spoof.
And then I'll flip the camera and it just says your Spotify playlist.
And then oh no. So, to recap, it's been a wild year for you.
Yeah.
Started with winning the Emerging Artists for the SCMAs, signed to MDM Records, released your first song with the label. Now you're the iHeart Future Star. When you're looking back on the last year, what comes to mind first?
There's just so much to take in. Like this year feels like a setup year because there's been so much work setting everything up leading to this past year. So I'm really, really excited to see what 2025 does. And I'm even more excited to see what 2026 does.
Nice.
So I'm constantly looking forward to see everything's so cool, but I'm really, really excited to see how far we can push it.
Yeah. It's going to be a wild year for sure. I mean, we all kind of got wind of you behind the scenes about 6 months ago or so. And then now it's cool. It's cool to see that you're getting some success here.
Oh, thank you.
So I guess now is a good time to do our usual feature every week that we do, to go through your catalog and get the vibe check. I mean, we've talked about a few of the songs here, but I'll name one of your songs and then you'll tell me what life was like for you when you wrote that song, when you released it, all that kind of stuff. All right. So your very first single out on Spotify from 2023, Drink Me a Lullaby.
Yeah. So that one, I had gone through quite the breakup. I was in a very, very dark place mentally. I had written that, I think, a year prior to that and just kind of sat on it, and I wasn't planning on doing anything with it. but that just came from a place of heartbreak and a really dark mental state. Just kind of sitting in the basement in my room alone, playing with guitar and just fiddling around with it, and then started playing it at open mics, and people seemed to like it, so I got some help and recorded it.
When did you start writing music?
I'd say fresh out of high school.
Because I'm sure this wasn't the first song you ever wrote. Because it's real good.
No, definitely not the first song I ever wrote.
Okay, moving along to 2024 with That Song in This Truck.
That was cool because that was myself and Andon Schumack. That was a co-write, and he's actually my lead guitar player. And I had gone to his house. His parents live in Grand Coulee, Saskatchewan, right outside of Regina. So I don't remember why I had went there. I went there for something. I was going to stay the weekend there and work on something with him. And we were going to write something else. We were going to write this like rocky drop B freaking heavy song. And then he played the little intro lick, the bow now, and I was like, oh, that sounds pretty cool. But you want to try and write something that's, closer to that? We're just in his basement drinking beer, and we're like, let's write like a two-steppy kind of country song that just feels like a radio song. Like, okay.
Nice.
So that's kind of where that one came from, and then spent like quite a few hours in the basement just with a guitar, figuring out that guitar solo.
Okay, moving along to your another song, If I Had It My Way, which is part of your EP. It's a bit of a different song.
Yeah, that one's more rock oriented. That one's really fun to do live.
It's pretty heavy.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was shooting for on that one. Just with those 4 songs, I just kind of wanted to make each one distinctly different from the other ones, like different enough that it's its own thing.
It's a bit of a showcase of who you are with each song.
Yeah, like there's, as country as I like my stuff, I also like my rock stuff, and I wanted to try and incorporate that. And I think I was living in Saskatoon at that point, living with a friend of mine, and Andon had come over, and I think we were having some drinks in the living room, and he was like, check out this riff I wrote. And it was the main hook riff that goes through it. And I was like, hey, that's pretty sick. And we just started humming some random crap and started writing it. And I think it wasn't until when we went to go record it, because we had picked what we wanted to record, but I don't think that song was done yet, because we were in his truck on the way over to the studio, and I had just finished the lyrics in it on the highway on the way over there.
Nice. And then finally, we've talked about the song a bit already, but Highway Money, what was life like when you were writing that?
Life was good. Life was good.
Yeah, you were in Nashville. You're in Music City.
Yeah. I think this was on my second trip down there. Because I had written a few times already with Dave, and I don't remember if I had written with Jason yet or not. I think I might have written with him once before. But both super talented. So, but at least I think I had built a relationship at least with them already. So it was more of a comfortable room to go into.
Nice.
And there was I can't remember what song it was for the life of me that we were like, let's do something that's got like this kind of vibe to it when we were writing. But that song was different than when I had went to go record it. And, was using FGL as like a reference.
Yeah.
I want to say it was Dylan Marlowe, Boys Back Home. I think it was something like that. They were like, let's try and get something kind of like this vibe going on here. And that was just a good day. The bright, sunny, weather was nice. Everything was good. Life was good.
And the song came quick?
The song came quick. That was a pretty quick session, actually. I don't think that took very long. And then what was cool is that when we did the demo, I remember getting the demo back and listening to it and going, I didn't sing that line. That's not... And I texted Dave and I was like, what did you do here? Because that's definitely me singing, but I don't remember saying that. He's like, oh, I used AI. I was like, oh. He's like, yeah, we decided this line was a little cooler. Hope you're okay with it. And I was like, I'm more than okay with it. I think it's way better.
Nice.
And he's like, but we didn't have you singing it, so I sang it, and I copied and pasted your voice into an AI modulator and put it in there.
That's so weird.
Dude. It was if I wouldn't have pointed it out, you probably wouldn't have been able to tell. But I could tell, and part of it was cool. Part of it was like, oh, this is weird.
Yeah, you're living in the future here, dude. Well, we're coming up to the end here, Josh. Thanks so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate getting to know you here and sharing what you've been up to with our audience.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I've had a blast.
Yeah, so what do you have coming up next that you can tease?
When does this air?
Tuesday.
Okay. Is it the 14th of May, I think? I'm in Toronto at the Horseshoe for the MDM Spring Fling event.
I'll see you there.
Yeah, it's going to be a blast. I'm excited.
Nice. Thanks so much for joining us. Be sure to follow Josh everywhere on socials and keep up with frontporchmusic.ca for all the latest from Josh and everyone else in the country. Thanks so much, Josh.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to another episode of On The Porch with Front Porch Music. We're so lucky to be able to chat with artists and make episodes like this one. If you like the podcast, remember to rate and review us, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. It's the easiest way to support the show. Remember to check out frontporchmusic.ca to keep up with new music releases, exclusive artist interviews, and more. We'll catch you again on The Porch in a couple of weeks. On The Porch is hosted by Logan Miller and Jenna Weiser, and produced and edited by Jason Saunders. That's me. Our theme song is written, produced, and performed by Owen Wrigley.